Oh man, welcome back. Welcome back to the road trip, Kingdom Builder. Kingdom Builders, plural, road trippers. Akim and Akatim, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, aunties and uncles, grandmas and grandpas, everybody in the house, in-laws. Welcome back to the road trip. All right. All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, Abba, Na, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh, Shai, Waha, Ruach, HaKadosh. My love and my respect goes out to each and every single one of you. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to you, your homes, your dwelling places, right? Where you stay at, man. Those homes, right? Your loved ones, your friends, them cheering, man, them little children, your kids, man. And of course, those little pets, man, little fur babies. Little fur nagas. That's right, man. All praises to the Most High. Welcome back to the road trip, everybody. I love you. All pleasantries out the way. You know, I beseech that you had a really, really good second day today. Okay. You know, Monday, whatever. Second day sounds better. Sounds more accurate to me. Right. Let's call it for what it is. I love each and every single one of you. I hope you know that. We've been growing a lot together over the last couple years. You know, maybe not personally, but listening to one another, that shows a lot of growth over the nation, man. You can actually see people growing in real time, and that is amazing. You know what I mean? There's no words to explain how amazing that is. This afternoon, just now, before I got onto this to make this video, I fell into an uncontrollable crying fit, man. Just crying, tears just falling from my eyes, right? Out of thankfulness, right? I was just grateful that the Most High has allowed me to open my eyes and see the glory of what, just even a fraction of the glory of what he's trying to present and give to his people, and the righteous order that which is going to follow for all nations. All praises to the Most High, man. And even your best imagination, check this out. It doesn't matter who you are. Your best imagination, he says, no eyes have seen and no ears have heard all the glorious things that he's going to have for you and us as a family and our cleaving friends, okay? It's going to be the most peaceful, man, it's going to be the most peaceful life even imaginable. We can't even imagine it. No eyes have seen, no ears have heard. Right? Even the best of your imagination's like level 1. Right? And after we get through this 1,000-year millennial reign and we hit that 8th day, we all get level 10. You see what I'm saying, man? Come on, bruv. let's learn our roles. Let's understand where we need to walk together as a mishpachah, also as a cleaving Gentile understanding of where you need to sit, right? It's all respect, man. It's all respect. And if you're on these channels where there's hate towards the Gentiles, because we're going to have Gentiles in the kingdom, period. They have a lack of understanding. Let's make this righteous rulership something that's very cooperative. You understand? That's righteous rulers. That's right. That's righteous rulership. Cooperation, not abrasion, right? Not everything desires an iron fist. Not everything desires, a strong arm on it, right? That's why you, if you are chosen to be one of those kings and priests, will be given the divine right of rulership and diplomatic diplomacy, where you'll be able to sit there and you'll be able to debate a matter. A king will debate a matter. He will figure a matter out. It doesn't always take a sword to get things done. It can take a sharp tongue and a new law. It's that simple. We have to mature. Just like growing up. You got to mature in this spiritual walk. But anyway, that's the end of that spiel. How are you? We're going to be reading. Where are we at? We're back here in the works of Flavius Josephus, the works of the Jewish Antiquities, or the Antiquities of the Yahudim. This is book number 6, chapter 11, how David, upon Saul's laying snares for him, did yet escape the dangers he was in, by the affection and care of Jonathan, and the contrivances of his wife Michal, and how he came to Samuel the prophet. All right, so let's get ready to read that. If you have these scrolls available to you, please read along with your Ak. I would love to have you with me. All praises to the Most High. All right. So no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, fellas in the back, let's get ready to read this, man. Let's begin. All right, Mishpachah, and our friends. This one's gonna be kind of long. It's got let's see, doing a little scan. It's got 10 sections in it, and then there's some notes that follow, right? And then we'll go ahead and take care of that. There's 3 notes, so we'll go ahead and start on section 1. Let's begin. All right. Section 1, and it reads, dipping in again, hold on, let me get some of this water. All right, dip it in. Section 1, and it reads, however, Saul was not disposed to preserve long in the state wherein he was, for when he saw that David was in great esteem, both with the Most High Yahweh and with the multitude, he was afraid, and being not able to conceal his fear, and concerning the great things, his kingdom, and his life, to be deprived of either, of which was a very great calamity. He resolved to have David killed, and commanded his son Jonathan and his most faithful servants to kill him. But Jonathan wondered at his father's change with relation of David, that it should be made to so great a degree, from showing him no small goodwill to contrive how to have him killed. Now, because he loved the young man and reverenced with reverence, he reverenced him for his virtue. He informed him of the secret charge his father had given, and what his intentions were concerning him. However, he advised him to take care and to be absent the next day, for that he would salute his father, and if he met with a favorable opportunity, he would discourse with him about him, and learn the cause of his disgust, and show how little ground there was for it. And that for it he ought not to kill a man that had done so many good things to the multitude, done so many amazing, miraculous things. This man is blessed. You can't kill this man. Continuing reading. And had been a benefactor to himself, on account of which he ought in reason to obtain pardon, had he been guilty of the greatest crimes. And I will then inform you of my father's resolution. Accordingly, David complied with such an advantageous advice, and kept himself then out of the king's sight. And he disappeared, man. Bro got ghost. That's the end of section 1, all right? We're going to continue reading on. All praises to the Most High. The water, man. The water. Cotton. I love y'all. Section 2, and it reads, on the next day, Jonathan came to Saul as soon as he saw him in a cheerful and joyful disposition, and began to speak about David. What unjust action, O father, either little or great, have you found so exponential in David, as to induce you to order us to slay a man who has been of great advantage to you in your own preservation, and of still greater, and to that punishment, and to of that punishment of the Philistines, a man who has delivered the people of the Hebrews from reproach and derision, which they underwent for 40 days together, when he alone had courage enough to sustain the challenge of the adversary, and after that brought as many heads of the enemies as he was appointed to bring, and had, remember, foreskins, and had as a reward for the same my sister in marriage, insomuch that his death would be very sorrowful to us, not only on account of his virtue, but on account of the nearness of our relation to your daughter, must be injured at the same time if he is killed, and must be obliged to experience widowhood before she can come to enjoy any advantage from their mutual conversations. Consider these things, and change your mind to a more merciful temper, and do no mischief to a man who in the first place has done us the greatest kindness of preserving you. He saved your ass, Naga. How can you kill a man after that? Let's continue reading. For when an evil spirit and demons had seized upon you, he cast them out and procured rest to your soul from their incursions. And in the second place, as avenged us of our enemies, for it is a base thing to forget these benefits. So Saul was pacified with these words, and swore to his son that he would do David no harm. For a righteous discourse proved too hard for the king's anger and fear. So Jonathan sent for David and brought him good news from his father. that he was to be preserved. He also brought him to his father, and David continued with the king as formerly, as he did before in his office. That's the end of section 2. Let's continue reading. Section 3, and it reads, About this time it was that upon the Philistines making a new expedition against the Hebrews, Saul sent David with an army to fight with them. And joining battle with them, he killed many of them. And after his victory, he returned to the king. But his reception by Saul was not as he expected upon such success, for he was so grieved at his prosperity because he thought he would be more dangerous to him by having acted so gloriously. By when the demoniacal Ruach came upon him, the demon hit him, he got possessed and put him into a disorder and disturbed him. He called for David until his bedchamber wherein he lay, and having a spear in his hand, he ordered him to charm him with playing on his harp and with singing hymns, which when David did at his command, he with great force threw with the spear at him. He with great force threw the spear at him, but David was aware of it, and before it came, he avoided it. He dodged quick on his feet and fled to his own house and abode there all that day. That's the end of section 3, right? David seen him try to kill him, man. He always had that wicked shot demon in him, man. There's always going to be people out there who smile in your face, but they got a shadim in them. That's why you got to test every ruach. You got to vet them, bruv. You got to vet them, sister. You got to get within that understanding, man. Not all who is Yasharala is of Yasharala, man. Or not all who is of Yasharala is the true Yasharala. Let me just paint it like that then, huh? That sounds right. Love you. Thank you. Bob. Let's go. All right, let's get section 4. All right, ready? All right, let's go. And it reads, But at night the king sent officers and commanded that David should be watched until the morning, lest he should get quite away, that he might come into the judgment hall, and so might be delivered up and condemned and killed. But when Michal, David's wife and king's daughter, understood what her father designed, she came to her husband, as having small hopes of his deliverance, and as greatly concerned about her own life also, for she could not bear to live in case she were deprived of him. That's a good woman! You're saying, come on, boy. That's a good woman, man. Really good, stout woman. Now, check this out, man. And she said, Let not the sun find you here when it rises. For if it do, that will be the last time it will rise to see you, right? Last time it will see you. Fly away, then while the night may afford you opportunity, and may the Most High, our power, Yahweh, lengthen it for your sake. For know this, that if my father find you, you are a dead man. So she let him down by a cord out of the window and saved him. And after she had done so, she fitted up a bed for him, as if he were sick, and put under the bedclothes a goat's liver. She tried to make it look like there was a body sleeping there, right? But there was no body. He was already gone. And when her father, as soon as it was day, sent to seize David, she said to those that were there that he had not been well that night, and showed them the bed covered, and made them believe that by the leaping of the liver, which caused the bedclothes to move also. So it was twitching, I guess. David breathed like one that was as asthmatic, like he had asthma, right? So when those that were sent told Saul that David had not been well in the night, he ordered them to be brought in the condition, for he intended to kill him. Now when they came and uncovered the bed and found out the woman's trick, they told it to the king. And when her father complained of her, that she it's kind of crazy, right? And when they had told her father complained of her that she had saved the enemy and put a trick upon himself and invented this plausible defense for herself, and said that when he had threatened to kill her, he lent him her assistance for his preservation out of fear, for which her assistance she ought to be forgiven, because it was not done out of her own free choice, but out of necessity. For she said, I do not suppose that you were so zealous to kill your enemy, as you were that I should be saved. Accordingly, Saul forgave the damsel. But David, when David, when he had escaped his danger, came to the prophet Samuel and to Ramah, and told him what snares the king had laid for him, and how he was very near to death by Saul throwing a spear at him, although he had been no way guilty in relation to him, nor had he been cowardly in his battles with the enemies, but had succeeded well in them all by the Most High Yahweh's assistance, which thing was indeed the cause of Saul's hatred to David. It was jealousy. You see what I'm saying? That's the hatred. That's gone through bloodlines. Nagas hating on Nagas for no reason. Help them become better. Alright, we'll get section 5 now. It's kind of a short one, a little shorty. Section 5, and it reads, when the prophet was made acquainted with the unjust proceedings of the king, he left to the city Ramah and took David with him to a certain place called Naioth. Naioth. And there he abode with him. But when he was told Saul that David was the prophet, he sent soldiers to him and ordered him to take him to bring him to him. And when he came to Samuel, he found there a congregation of prophets. They became partakers of the divine Ruach and began to prophesy, which when Saul heard of, he sent others to David, who prophesying in like manner as did the first, he again sent others, which third sort prophesying also. At last he was angry and went there in great haste himself. All right, I keep sending people. All right, I'm about to go there myself, bro. And when he was just by that place, Samuel, before he saw him, made him prophesy also. And when Saul came to him, right, he was disordered in mind, and under the vehement agitation of the Ruach, he was pissed off, man. And putting off his garments, he fell down and lay on the ground all that day and night in the presence of Samuel and David, man. Dawid. That's the end of section 5. Man. Bro was distressed. That's not even a really good word for it, man. He was distraught. Boy. Alright, man. Section 6, and it reads, and David went from there and came to Jonathan, and the son of Saul, and lamented to him what snares were laid for him by his father, and said that though he had been guilty of no evil, nor had offended against him, yet Saul was very zealous to get him killed. But Jonathan exhorted him not to give credit to his own suspicions, nor to the slanders of those that raised those reports, if there were any that did so, but to depend on him and take courage. For his father had no such intentions, since he would have acquainted him with that matter, and have taken his advice. And if it be so, as he used to consult with him in common when he acted in other affairs. But David swore to him that so it was, and he desired him rather to believe him and to provide for his safety, than to despise what he, with great sincerity, told him, that he would believe what he had said, when he should either see him killed himself or learn it upon inquiry from others. And that the reason why his father did not tell him of these things was this, that he knew of the friendship and affection that he bore towards him. Like, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do to this dude because I know that you're going to go snitch on me. You see what I'm saying? That's the end of section 6. That's what I got from that. Section 7 reads, But when Jonathan found that this intention of Saul was so well attested, he asked him what he would have him do for him. To which David replied, I am sensible that you are willing to gratify me in everything and procure me what I desire. Now tomorrow is the new moon, and I was accustomed to sit down then with the king at supper. Now, if it seem good to you, I will go out of the city and conceal myself privately there. And if Saul inquire why I am absent, tell him that I am gone to my own city, to Bethlehem, to keep a festival with my own tribe. And add this also, that you gave me leave to do so. Right? You gotta have my back, bruv. Right? You say you love me, Jonathan. You know, we homeboys, bruv. You gotta tell him that you gave me leave to do so. Nico, Naku, what? And if he says, as is usually said in the case of friends that are gone abroad, it is well that he went, then assure yourself that no latent mischief or hostility may be feared at his hand. But if he answer otherwise, and will be a sure sign that he has some design against me, accordingly you shall inform me of your father's inclinations, and that out of pity to my case, and out of your friendship for me, as instances of which friendship you have, vouched for. You vouch for me, man, to accept of the assurances of my love to you, and to give the like assurances to me. And if those of a master to his servant. But if you discover any wickedness in me, do you prevent your father and kill me yourself? You do it yourself. That's the end of section 7. All right, let's continue reading. Section 8, But Jonathan heard these last words with indignation, and promised to do what he desired of him, and to inform him of his father's answers, implied anything of the melancholy nature, and any hostility against him, and that he might the more firmly depend upon him. He took him out into the open field, into the pure air, and swore that he would neglect nothing that might tend to the preservation of David. And he said, I appeal that the Most High Yahweh, who, as you see, is diffused everywhere and knows this intention of mine, before I explain it in words, as the witness of this my covenant with you, that I will not leave off to make frequent trials of the purpose of my Father until I learn whether there be any lurking sickness in the most secret parts of his soul. And when I have learned it, I will not conceal it from you. I got you, boy. You are my boy. You are my boy, man. I will not conceal it from you, but will discover it in you. I will discover it to you. Whether he be gently or peevishly disposed for this, the Most High himself knows that I will pray. I will beseech. He may always be with you, for he is with you. He was with you now, and will not forsake you, and will make you superior to your enemies, whether my father be one of them, or whether I myself be such. That's loyalty. He said, you will always be superior to your enemies, whether we are those or not, and I love you, bruv. That's true support. That's true love for a brother. Nick, you read this, go back and read that again. Right? Continuing on. Only remember what we now do, and if it fall out that I die, preserve my children alive and repay what kindness you have now received to them. When he had thus sworn, he dismissed David, bidding him to go to a certain place of that plain wherein he used to perform his exercises for that. As soon as he knew the mind of his father, he would come there to him with one servant only. And if, says he, I shoot 3 darts at the mark, and then direct my servant to carry these 3 darts away, for they are before him, know that there is no mischief to be feared from my father. But if you hear me say the contrary, expect the contrary from the king. However, you shall gain security by my means, and shall by no means suffer any harm. But see, you do not forget what I have desired of you in the time of your prosperity, and be serviceable to my children. Now David and he had received these assurances from Jonathan, went his way to the place appointed. That's the end of section 8. Alright? And we're cooking, bro. We're cooking now. We're cooking now, sister. And I love you, man. I love all y'all. Y'all praises to the Most High. Yeah, man. Alright, let's read section number 9, okay? And it reads, but on the next day, which was the new moon, the king, which he had purified himself as the custom was, came to supper. And when there sat by him his son Jonathan on his right hand, and Abner, the captain of his host, on the other hand, he saw David's seat was empty, but said nothing, supposing that he had not purified himself since he had intercourse with his wife, and so could not be present. But when he saw that he was not there the second day of the month earlier either, he inquired of his son Jonathan why the son of Jesse did not come to the supper and the feast, neither the day before nor that day. So Jonathan said that he was gone according to the agreement between them to his own city, where his tribe kept the festival, and that by his permission that he also invited him to come to their sacrifice. And says Jonathan, if you will give me leave, I will go there, for you know the goodwill that I bear him. And then it was that Jonathan understood his father's hatred of David, and plainly saw his entire disposition, for Saul could not restrain his anger, but reproached Jonathan, and called him the son of a wanderer and an enemy, and said he was a partner with David and his assistant, and that by his behavior he showed that he had no regard to himself or to his mother, and would not be persuaded of this. And would not be persuaded of this, that while David was alive, their kingdom was not secure to them. Yet he told him to send for him, and he might be punished. That he might be punished, man. They want to kill David, man. Wickedness. And when Jonathan said in answer, what has he done that you will punish him? Saul no longer contented himself to express his anger and bare words, but snatched up his spear and leaped upon him, and was desirous to kill him. And he did not indeed do what he intended, because he was hindered by his friends. But it appeared plainly to his son that he hated David and greatly desired to dispatch him, insomuch that he had almost killed his own son with his own hands in the account. In his account. That's the end of section 9. We got one more section to read, section 10, right? And then we got 3 note points to read. All right. How you feel about that? You still rocking with me? All right. Hope you make it to the end, man. All right. I love you, though, man. Keep up the fervent heat, man. Keep that energy. Keep that same energy. Section 10, man. Section 10, and it reads, "And then it was that the king's son rose hastily from supper, and being unable to admit anything into his mouth for grief, he wept all night, both because he had himself been near destruction, and also because the death of David was determined. But as soon as it was day, he went out into the plain that was before the city, and as going to perform his exercises, but in reality to inform his friend of what disposition his father was in towards him, as he had agreed with him to do so, right? And when Jonathan had done what he had been thus agreed, he dismissed his servant that followed him and returned to the city. But he himself went into the desert and came into his presence and communed with him. So David appeared and fell at Jonathan's feet and bowed down to him and called him the preserver of his soul. But he lifted him up from the earth, and they mutually embraced one another. That's a brotherly hug, like a true brotherly hug. And there's some tears, I'm sure, involved with that. And made a long greeting, and that not without tears. See, and that not without tears. I already know how it feels, man. I cry when I think about the love of my brothers, man. The water each one, man. The water is Zakaria. The water, all you people, man. Dwayne. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, man. Cyril, man. The water, man. So, recollecting themselves at length from their lamentation and exhorting one another to be mindful of the oaths they had sworn to each other, they parted asunder. And that's the end of section 10. And we're going to go ahead and read these notes real quick before we depart from one another for this time. But we'll see each other soon. Yahweh willing. All praises to the Most High. Shalom, man. I love you. Yo, man. Yo, boy. Alright, man, the point, section 1, man. Since the modern Yahudim have lost the signification of the Hebrew word here used, sebir, and since the Septuagint as well as Josephus render it the liver of the goat, and since the rendering and Josephus's account are here so much more clear and probable than those of others, it is almost unaccountable that our commentators should so much as hesitate about its true interpretation. That's the end of point number 1. I'll let you just soak on it, man. Eat the meat and spit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? I don't subscribe to anything that I don't know the Most High. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just read it. Let the Ruach talk to you on this, man. Because I'm talking about the points. The points. Because, you know, there's commentary added. Right? Point number 2. These violent and wild agitations of Saul seem to me to have been no other than demoniacal, and that the same demon which used to seize him, since he was forsaken of the Most High Yahweh, in which the divine hymns and psalms which were sung to the harp of David used to expel, was now in a judicial way brought upon him, not only in order to disappoint the intentions against the innocent David, but to expose him to the laughter and contempt of all that saw him or heard of those agitations, much violent and wild agitations, being never observed in true prophets, when they were under the inspiration of the Ruach of the Most High, the Ruach HaKodesh. Our other copies, which say that the Ruach HaKodesh overcame him, seem Not so here in this copy, which mentions nothing of the Most High Yahweh at all, nor does Josephus seem to ascribe this impulse and ecstasy of Saul to any other than his own demoniacal spirit, his own demoniacal ruach, which on all accounts appears to most probable. Nor does the former disposition or description of Saul's real inspiration by the divine spirit ruach, reference 1 Samuel 10:9 through 12, also Antiquities 6:4 and 2, which was before he became wicked, will agree with the descriptions before us. That's the end of point number 2. All right, cool, bruv. Point number 3, and let it be, man. All praises to the Most High. Amen. Point number 3, and it reads, what is meant by Saul's lying down naked all that day and all that night, reference 1 Samuel 19:4, and whether all more than laying aside his royal apparel or upper garments, as Josephus seems to understand it, is by no means certain. See the notes on Antiquities. That looks like 8 and 14 and 2. No, it doesn't look like it. It is 8 and 14 and 2. All right, and that's the end of that. All right, all praises to the Most High. Hallelujah, Yahweh. All right, all praises to the Most High, Mishpachah, family and friends, man. I don't even want to say family, man. Mishpachah, man. Family and friends, man. I love y'all, man. Brothers and sisters, man. Akim and Akatim. And next time we read, we're going to be reading chapter 12, how David fled to Ahimelech, and afterwards to the kings of the Philistines and to the Moabites, and how Saul killed Ahimelech and his family. And it was righteous slaughter, man. David had a lot of blood on his hands, man. David was something else, man. That dude from a kid started killing, man. Once he killed that giant, man, he just started, man. He went on a campaign for the Most High. Alright, there's a lot of us who got that same blood in us, because we do, buff. We come from the seed of David, you understand? So we take things out. If it's a problem, we remove it. That's what we do. So thank you for being here on this road trip version, man. I love each and every single one of you all. Praises to the Most High. Yahweh willing, I'll see you all in the next one, man. And it's very road trip appropriate, man. Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings, man. To your homes, your dwelling places. Please be safe out there. Especially, man, road trip appropriate, man. You got them little kitties in the car with you. Drive safely. You understand? All right. And I love you all. I love you. And I'll see you all very, very soon. All praises to the Most High. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.